It's 2 in the morning. The garage is cold, smelling of old iron and spilled gasoline. Your knuckles are scraped, and your back aches from hours spent hunched over a steel frame. Most people would see this as a chore, a desperate attempt to save a few dollars, or a hobby born of stubbornness. But they are looking at the surface. They see the repair. They don't see the reclamation. In a world where everything we touch is becoming a black box, sealed, sleek, and impossible to understand, the act of picking up a tool is an act of defiance. It is not just about fixing a machine. It is about something older, quieter, and far more psychologically interesting. It is about the intimate geography of knowing exactly where you stand in relation to the world. We live in an era of users, not owners. We touch screens, we press buttons, we expect a result. When the result doesn't happen, we feel a specific modern kind of helplessness. We call a professional, we wait, we pay. But for the person who works on their own car, the relationship is different. For them, the car is not a mystery box, it is a language. When they hear a rattle in the suspension or a skip in the idle, that they aren't just hearing a noise, they are hearing a conversation, a dialogue between metal and motion, between function and failure. The engine speaks in vibrations, the transmission whispers through shifts, the brakes tell stories through their fade and bite. And the person who listens, truly listens, becomes fluent in this mechanical tongue. Psychologically, this creates a bridge. It moves the individual from a state of passive consumption to active agency. But to understand why this feels so profound, we have to look at what we have lost. There was a time, not long ago, when the user manual of a vehicle told you how to adjust the valves and time the ignition. It assumed you were capable. It assumed you were curious. It assumed you wanted to know. Today, a user manual is more likely to warn you not to drink the battery acid. This shift reflects a deeper societal change, the black box society. As technology becomes more complex, it becomes more opaque. We are surrounded by objects we cannot fix, and by extension, objects we do not truly understand. Think about the devices in your pocket, the appliances in your home, the car in your driveway. How many of them could you repair if they failed tomorrow? When you lose the ability to maintain the things you own, you lose a sense of what psychologists call primary control. You become a guest in your own life, reliant on a hidden class of experts to keep your world functioning. The person in the garage at 2 a.m., the one with grease under their fingernails and a service manual spread across the workbench, is fighting against this drift, but they are participating in a tradition of the tinkerer, the individual who refuses to be alienated from their own environment. They are reclaiming something that was slowly being taken away, the right to understand. At the heart of this behavior is a concept known as embodied cognition. This is the idea that our thinking isn't just something that happens inside the skull. It is something that happens through our hands. When you feel the tension of a bolt, your brain is mapping resistance. When you sense the vibration of a running engine, you are reading information that no diagnostic computer can fully translate. Your brain extends its map of self into the machine. The tool becomes an extension of the nervous system. And this creates a profound sense of self-efficacy, the deep-seated belief that you are capable of exerting influence over your environment. And in a world that increasingly makes us feel powerless, this matters more than we realize. There is also the endowment effect, or what some call the IKEA effect. We value things more when we have invested our own labor into them. But with a car, it goes deeper than a bookshelf. When you bleed for a machine, when you spend your weekends deciphering its mechanical soul, it ceases to be an object of utility. It becomes a reflection of your own competence, a testament to your patience, a monument to the hours you refuse to give up, To fix the car is, in a very real sense, to fix a part of your own identity. And when you finally hear that engine fire after days of troubleshooting, the satisfaction isn't just mechanical, it's existential. You have proven to yourself that you can solve problems, that you can learn, that you can restore order to chaos. But today, this archetype is under threat. We are entering the age of the software-defined vehicle. Engines are being locked behind digital gates. Parts are serialized so they cannot be swapped without dealer authorization. Error codes are encrypted. Repair manuals are withheld. The right to repair has become a literal battleground, not just for mechanics, but for the human psyche itself. Society tells us that convenience is the ultimate goal, that not having to worry about it is a luxury worth paying for. But there is a psychological cost to this convenience. It is the cost of helplessness. When we outsource all our competence, do we suffer from what researchers call a thinning of the self? We become narrower, more dependent, less resilient. The person who insists on changing their own oil or replacing their own brakes is often mocked for wasting time. After all, a shop can do it in 20 minutes. Why spend an hour in your own garage? But they aren't wasting time. They are investing in their own mental resilience. They are maintaining a wordless knowledge, a physical competence that cannot be downloaded, outsourced, or bought. In an increasingly digital, ethereal world, the weight of a wrench in the hand is a grounding force. It reminds us that we are not just minds floating in screens. We are bodies. We are capable. We are real. There is something else happening in that garage too. Something quieter. It is the experience of solitude without loneliness. A modern life is noisy, notifications, obligations, the constant hum of other people's opinions. But in the garage, there is only the task, the problem, the solution. The machine doesn't care about your status, your politics, your digital followers. It only cares if the timing is right, if the connection is true, if you've tightened that bolt to spec. This is a rare form of honesty in the modern world, and for many, it is meditative. Not in the sense of emptying the mind, but in the sense of focusing it entirely on something tangible. You are not worried about tomorrow. You are not rehashing yesterday. You are here, now, with the oil pan, with the seized bolt, with the problem in front of you. Psychologists call this flow, the state where challenge meets skill and time seems to disappear. But it is more than that. It is also a form of what the philosopher Matthew Crawford calls manual competence, the knowledge that lives in your hands, the instinct that tells you when something is tight enough or when a sound is wrong. This is knowledge that cannot be Googled. It must be earned, felt, lived, and once you have it, no one can take it from you. We often think of our cars as a way to get from point A to point B, but for those who work on them, the car is a mirror. It shows us our patience when the repair takes longer than expected. It shows us our frustrations when the part doesn't fit, or the diagram is wrong, or we strip a bolt we shouldn't have touched. And ultimately, it shows us our power to restore order to a chaotic world. Because when the job is done, when the engine turns over, smooth and strong, you didn't just fix a car. You proved something to yourself. You proved that you can learn what you don't know, that you can persist when things go wrong, that you can take something broken and make it whole again. And in a world that often feels out of control, that matters. In the silence of the garage, surrounded by the smell of old oil and the cold steel of tools, there is a kind of peace, a peace that comes not from avoiding difficulty, but from meeting it head on. The mechanical logic of an engine is honest, predictable, fair. If you do the work correctly, it runs. If you don't, it doesn't. There are no politics in a carburetor, no ambiguity in a torque spec, just cause and effect, action and result. Perhaps that is why we are drawn to it, why we return to the garage even when it would be easier to pay someone else. Because in a world where so much is temporary, fragile, and uncertain, the machine offers something solid, something we can touch, something we can master, something we can understand. So, as you look at the complex machinery of your own life, the things that are broken, the things that are hidden, and the things you've been told you aren't qualified to touch, ask yourself, if you have lost the ability to understand the tools that move you through the world, do you truly own the journey, or are you just along for the ride?